You know what blows my mind every single spring? Millions of Americans get a fat tax refund check and they celebrate like they just beat the system. They post it, they brag about it, they plan a vacation with it, they buy a new TV with it. They treat it like bonus money. And I'm telling you right now, that refund is not a win. It is not free money. It is not a blessing. It is proof you gave the government an interest-free loan for an entire year. That's the scam. Not a scam in the illegal sense, a scam in the behavioral sense, a scam in the they know exactly how your brain works sense. Because if I took $250 out of your paycheck every month, hid it from you, then handed it back next April in a lump sum, you'd call that stealing. But when the government does it, people clap. That right there is the middle class mistake. You think you won. You think you came out ahead. You think the IRS did you a favor. No, you just spent 12 months being artificially poorer than you needed to be. And here's the brutal part. The IRS itself literally says adjusting withholding can help you avoid having too much tax withheld, which means a bigger paycheck now and a smaller refund later. In other words, even the system tells you the big refund is usually just your money coming back to you. Source. Now, quick nuance before somebody jumps in the comments acting smart. Yes, some refunds are boosted by refundable tax credits. I'm not talking about that part. I'm talking about over-withholding from your paycheck. I'm talking about the chunk of your refund that exists because you paid too much all year. That is the part people confuse with free money. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Because a big refund means you've been financing the government at 0% while your own bills, your own debt, your own investing goals, and your own life sat there starving for cash. So let me say it as clearly as possible. Stop falling for it. A giant refund check is not proof you're good with money. It's often proof your cash flow got hijacked. And while you were surviving month to month, clipping coupons, stressing over groceries, and wondering why your paycheck disappears so fast, your money was gone, working for someone else, not you. That's why this matters, because the tax refund scam doesn't just take your money, it trains you to think backwards about wealth. Let's get into the psychology, because this is where the trap gets nasty. Your problem is not just math. Your problem is that your emotions are bullying your money. See, when your paycheck is a little smaller every month, you normalize it. You adjust downward. You get used to being squeezed. You build your life around scarcity. So when April rolls around and somebody hands you $3,000 in one shot, your broke brain doesn't read that as "my money was delayed." It reads it as bonus, blessing, play money, let's celebrate. That is why your brain is broke. Not because you're stupid, because your brain is wired to emotionally overvalue lump sums and undervalue slow leaks. Behavioral finance has been exposing this forever. People mentally separate money into fake categories. Regular paycheck money feels boring. Refund money feels exciting. Same dollars, different emotional labels. And once your brain labels something extra, you stop protecting it. That's when the ego purchase shows up. Suddenly, it's, "I deserve this. It's been a long year. We need a little getaway. I've been wanting this upgrade." And boom, there goes the refund. Flat screen TV, designer bag, Vegas trip, new rims on a financed car you already couldn't afford. That's the dangerous part. The refund doesn't just return your money late, it returns it in a form that makes you more likely to waste it, because it feels detached from work. You didn't see yourself earning it line by line in your paycheck. You saw it arrive like magic, so you spend it like magic. That's what I mean by the dangerous illusion of being rich. For 1 week in April, you feel rich, but you weren't rich. You were underpaid all year by your own withholding settings.
You felt powerful for 48 hours because you ignored the 12 months you spent being quietly drained. That's why the refund trap is so evil. It takes financially stressed people and gives them a temporary high instead of permanent control. It creates a false sense of abundance while preserving a real life of tight margins. And the system loves that. Why? Because financially disorganized people are easy to manage. If you think a refund is wealth, you never fix the real issue, your monthly cash flow. And monthly cash flow is everything. That's what pays down debt faster. That's what funds investing automatically. That's what helps you stop swiping a credit card when an emergency hits. That's what reduces stress on a random Tuesday in October. Wealth is not built by one emotional check in April. Wealth is built by consistent control. And the refund trap teaches the exact opposite lesson. It teaches you to wait, to celebrate delay, to confuse reimbursement with progress. Meanwhile, the same IRS page says checking your withholding can help you maximize your take-home pay during the year. Translation: if you stop overpaying, you can keep more of your own money in real time instead of begging for it later. Source: so, if you're sitting there saying, "Yeah, but I like getting a big refund because it forces me to save," I get it, but let's be honest, that's not a money strategy. That's a self-trust problem, and we can fix that without turning the government into your piggy bank. Now, let's do the part most people avoid, the math. And warning, the math is brutal. Let's say you got a $3,000 tax refund. Sounds amazing, right? Wrong. That means, in simple terms, you overpaid by about $250 a month. Not all at once, not in one dramatic robbery, just a quiet monthly siphon. January minus $250. February minus $250. March minus $250. Over and over. You were living on less than you earned. That's why I keep saying you did not receive a prize. You received delayed payroll. And the IRS's own filing data shows the average refund in the 2025 filing season was $3,052. So this isn't some edge case. This is normal. Millions of people are treating a roughly $3,000 reimbursement like a windfall. Source: now, let's talk opportunity cost. What if, instead of giving that $250 a month to the government, you invested it? Not YOLO crypto, not meme stocks, not your cousin's business opportunity, just a boring S&P 500 index fund. Historically, the S&P 500 has averaged about 10.56% annually since 1957, according to Investopedia, though inflation-adjusted returns are lower. Source: so, let's be conservative and round that to 10% for easy math. If you invested $250 a month for 1 year instead of over-withholding it, you'd end up with roughly $3,140 by year-end, not $3,000, about $3,140. That extra money may not sound life-changing in 1 year, but here's the point. The refund route guarantees zero growth. The investing route gives your money a chance to work. And the real punch comes when you zoom out. Do that same $250 a month for 10 years at 10%. Now you're looking at roughly $51,000 plus. Do it for 20 years. Now you're deep into 6 figures. That's when the scam reveals itself. Because the issue is not the refund. The issue is the habit. A habit of letting cash sit idle. A habit of surrendering control. A habit of delaying wealth building. And then there's the silent killer, inflation. While the government is holding your money is losing buying power. The latest Consumer Price Index report says prices were up 2.4% over 12 months. That means the dollars you get back later buy less than the dollars you earned earlier. So translated into normal human language, You earn the money in January, they hold some of it. You get it back much later. Meanwhile, groceries cost more, rent costs more, insurance costs more, life costs more. So not only did you lend your money for 0%, you lent it during a period when cash was quietly decaying. That is insane behavior when you say it out loud. And if you carried any credit card debt during the year, now it gets even uglier. Because imagine over-withholding $250 a month while paying 22, 27, 29% APR on a credit card balance. That means you were lending money to the government for 0% while borrowing your own survival money back from a bank at predator rates. That is the definition of financial illiteracy weaponized against the middle class. Again, I'm not trying to insult you. I'm trying to wake you up, because once you understand
The math, you stop romanticizing the refund. You start asking the right question. How do I keep more of my money all year without blowing it? That's the pivot. Here's the move. You adjust your W-4 so your refund is as close to zero as possible. Not because you want a tax bill, not because you want chaos, but because you want accuracy. You want your paycheck to reflect your life in real time. The IRS literally offers a tax withholding estimator designed to help you figure out the correct withholding amount and avoid having too much withheld. That means your goal is simple. Stop sending extra, start redirecting the gap. What gap? The gap between what you were taking home and what you should have been taking home. If your refund was $3,000, that gap was about $250 a month. That $250 is your 9-to-5 cheat code. Not because it's magic, because it's hidden. It's money you were already earning but never seeing. And once you recapture it, you do not let it sit in checking, waiting to get spent. You build a shadow portfolio. I call it a shadow portfolio because it moves quietly in the background. No drama, no hype, no willpower battle every month. The money hits, the transfer happens, you barely touch it. That is how adults beat their own bad habits, with systems, not motivation. So if you've been using tax refunds as forced savings, fine. Replace the crude version with a better version. Instead of letting the government hold your cash, you automate that same cash into an index fund, a high-yield savings buffer, debt payoff, or a Roth IRA contribution pipeline. Invest it, because once you do, you activate the snowball effect. Your money starts making money, and that changes everything, not emotionally, mathematically. The middle-class trap is waiting for permission to build wealth. The wealthy build systems that move money before emotions can interfere. That is the lesson. So here's your action plan. This is the part where you stop nodding and actually do something. First, look at your last tax return and figure out how much of your refund likely came from overwithholding. Second, use the IRS withholding estimator or talk to a good accountant and update your W-4. The goal is not some giant celebratory check. The goal is precision. Third, calculate the monthly difference. If your refund was around $3,000, start with that rough $250 a month number. Fourth, automate that money immediately, the same day your paycheck hits. Not later, not if there's anything left, not after Target, not after Uber Eats, not after your weekend mood swing. Immediately. And fifth, choose where it goes before your broke brain can label it extra money. Because that's the old pattern. The new pattern is control. The new pattern is intention. The new pattern is wealth without burnout. That's the real goal, not grinding yourself to death, not waiting for April like it's Christmas, not begging the system to hand back what was already yours. Real freedom is when your cash flow works for you every month. Real freedom is when your money starts compounding instead of disappearing. Real freedom is when you stop confusing refunds with wealth and start building wealth on purpose. So no, a huge tax refund is not a flex. It's usually a receipt showing you've been overpaying all year. And now that you know the game, you can stop playing it like a victim. Stop giving the government free loans, stop worshiping delayed money, stop acting rich for 1 week and broke for the other 51. Take the cash flow back, fix the withholding, build the shadow portfolio, let compounding work for you. That's how you reclaim your wealth. If this video punched you in the face a little bit, good. That means it worked. Subscribe if you want more brutal math, middle-class myth-busting, and real strategies to stop leaking money in plain sight. And drop a comment with one word: refunded, if you're done giving the government free loans.